Welcome back. And in this segment, we have Matt Thompson and Mark McNeese together. So we're going to create a little havoc with those two. So welcome back to the set. And let's continue on with our conversation about businesses in our community. Is Tallahassee open for business?
You want to take this one first?
I think so. I think that we've made great strides in that direction in the past few years. So I would say yes.
Okay.
I have to agree. I mean, we've had nothing but we've created 5 businesses in 4 years, and we're looking to expand and do other things. And I haven't really hit any true roadblocks in that process.
Now the two of you have partnered. I got a chance to sample something from your partnership the other day. What is your partnership?
I'm very excited.
And I think you started that.
One of the concepts for the table, Matt's group, is social catering, and they have created a brand called Social Bites, and now Social Bites does all the fresh food at all the Red Eye locations.
So if you go in, there you are. So why did you partner together? What about each other kind of made this make sense?
I think like a lot of businesses, Mark was trying to solve a problem. I think that's what we do every day, right? We solve problems, and he was trying to solve a problem. And him and I had a conversation briefly, and there was I threw out maybe 3 or 4 different solutions, one of being catering, and that's one stuck, and then we were off and moving. We started that this summer, and then probably launched about a couple months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Matt, you said something when we were talking earlier about how important it is for business to collaborate and not so much compete. Why is that philosophy important to you?
It's something I teach my students in a marketing sense. It's something I believe in. Is as soon as you worry so much about your competition, you're no longer focusing on yourself and any sort of experience that you're trying to provide a customer. So from that standpoint, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to worry too much about competition. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for Tallahassee's businesses to collaborate with each other. I mean, look at us. I mean, 2 totally different kind of segments, kind of in the same vein, if you want to say we're both in the food or hospitality industry, but there's an opportunity there to be able to provide something maybe a little better than just trying to figure everything out on your own.
And Mark, whenever you moved here from Los Angeles,
right.
I've heard through the years that a lot of businesses have challenges with our City of Tallahassee and Leon County permitting. Can you tell us where we are today on that? Have we improved? What have you seen in your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I did my first construction project 3 years into being in Tallahassee, and it was quite honestly one of the most frustrating experiences of my life. I'm happy to report
you almost threw up your hands and
I
said,
really did, almost threw up my hands. I'm like, what am I doing? You know, this city doesn't want to see any growth or anything interesting happen. And there's always going to be problems. I'm from the construction industry in Los Angeles, so I'm familiar with the process. One thing that now that we have 5 Red Eye locations, 2 on campus, and we've gone through the process of building in the county and in the city, and also with the church doing a rather large expansion.
Right.
That I've had a lot more experience and have just seen a lot more openness and accommodations to really listen. I think is the biggest thing, to listen what we're trying to accomplish, and where I think the attitude originally was when you walked in, the answer was no before they heard.
And that dynamic has changed.
And I think that dynamic has changed under the leadership. I think Tallahassee realized that they had a problem, and they're nowhere's perfect, but I think that they've made great strides. I'd like to see us loosen up the signage ordinances, but besides that, I think we're doing well.
Okay, that's good. That's really good to hear from a business viewpoint. Matt, yourself, you feel the same way about where we are?
Yeah,
that
I'm not really
that
involved.
it's more business friendly than it may have been in years past?
100%. I mean, I'm not really involved in the whole permitting process and all those things, and so I've heard headaches over the years, and I've heard it's getting better. I think one of the places that Tallahassee and I think I think this goes across all business sectors and all business segments, is talent, labor pool. Where we ran into issue with building out Township, for example, was there was so many projects going on in Tallahassee that there just weren't enough people to do all the work.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the things that hits every segment and every business at some sort of point in time. I know it hits the hospitality industry particularly hard as well.
You both employ a lot of people in our community, yet I heard from both of you, and I hear this from businesses a lot, that the talent, there's a challenge with not only retaining talent, but they're in our city, and there's a challenge with getting talent. What do you see on that front, and why do you see we're having issues with that, Mark?
I think historically the city has not done a very good job of reaching out to the students. We have 3 great institutes of higher learning here, and for the most part, there's been pockets of trying to connect with them, but there hasn't been a concerted effort. I think over the past year and a half, there has been an amazing effort from the Chamber of Commerce to say, you know what, we are going to reach out. You know, one of the big exciting initiatives that just launched was the Chamber gave every Jim Moran School student a chamber membership and a mentor.
And how can we keep them here if we're not ready to engage with them
Right.
in a meaningful way? I'm happy to see those kind of strides.
Yeah.
What are your challenges in getting that talent, Matt?
Typically, it's just trying to, I mean, if you're trying to get somebody out of a larger market to come to Tallahassee from like a manager above position, I think they start with there's nothing to do, and really it's all about the spouse.
Oh, but okay, but saying there's nothing to do, I think that's history.
I don't believe
no,
that.
but I understand. I think we have to tell a better story about there are things to do here. Because if you looked at our arts and culture community, we've made tremendous strides in the last 5 years, and I think we need to do a better job of telling our story as far as getting that out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree on that?
And I think a holistic approach. I think one of the things I hear from businesses all the time, the employee is in. They want a better quality of life. They don't want to drive an hour and back and forth from work. They want to be able to see their kids. We have a culture of being able to go coach your kids' little league or whatever the case may be. They love that. It's the spouse. You got to have a holistic approach to make sure when the family moves here that they all are all in on Tallahassee, not just the person that you're going to see 40, 50 hours a week.
I think that's a really good point. I can't believe this, but we're out of time. I will have to try this again one day soon. Thank you both for being here and joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us on Our Issues Tallahassee. I'm Bernice Cox. Please join us again next week.